Well, a toot toot and a tweet tweet to you too, little blue super screwdriver. Good old R2 had a trick for every occasion. But did he ever have one of these? No? Oh, you're a bit rubbish then, really, aren't you? Hi everyone, it's Andy again and a very happy new year to you all. We've got some videos planned, so please do hit the subscribe and notification buttons below. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. If you love random talk and videos about science fiction and horror, then you've come to the right place. If you're already a subscriber, then may you live to be 1,000 years old and victory envelop all your endeavours. So we ran a poll at the end of our last video and you all voted. Well, some of you voted and it was a dead heat. So using a calibrated binary decision-making tool, the winner was the Astromech Droid. Don't worry, Whiskey Brewer, we'll do the Falcon at a later date. So the Astromech Droid, or the 3-foot-tall trash can that can fix anything from TV remote to a nuclear reactor. Just look at Empire Strikes Back. Chewie and Han spend the vast majority of the film trying to fix a hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon to no avail, only for R2 to come along and stick some random implement into an access port, twist, and there you go, hyperspace. Kinda making Han and Chewie look a bit shit there, really. So anyway, let's learn a bit more about the Astromech Droid. The term Astromech Droids covers a wide range of droids designed to assist with the general day-to-day operations and repairs upon a starship or a space station. In some cases, most notably the R2 series, these droids' functions extend to effectively co-pilot duties aboard starfighters by maintaining ship functions during combat and even performing the calculations for hyperspace travel. Despite the vast array of useful tools and applications, plus the amount of interface these little droids provide between systems and people, they can only communicate in a string of beeps and whistles, which can only be deciphered by other computers. Which just seems a bit weird, really. I mean, my phone can talk to me in English. How hard would it have been to fit a beeps to whatever language converter? The most famous Astromech droid is R2-D2, which was first seen chronologically on board the J-Type 327 Nubian Raw starship. But before we move on to this well-loved electric Swiss Army knife, let's discuss the R-Series in general. The R-Series were produced by Industrial Automaton and extended as far as R5. R1 droids were simple and relatively tall in comparison to the follow-on R2 droids. The R1 droids actually make an appearance in The Phantom Menace with Watto, and in Episode 4 being sold to Owen Lars. R2 droids were relatively compact compared with R1 and possessed significantly more tools and was a far greater marketing success story due to the range of duties and compatibility with starfighters. R3 and R4 droids were pretty much identical to R2 but featured faster processors which aided with hyperspace calculations. The R5 was a budget boy R2, a kind of little R2. It did many of the things that the R2 could do, but with added smoke and sparks. The R2 series was never really bettered by Industrial Automaton and arguably anyone else for that matter. It was fitted with dozens of tools, specialist sensors, communication systems and propulsion mechanisms within a structure about half the size of its predecessor. Think of an army knife, suddenly pack it with double the tools and half in its size. That's essentially the R2 over the R1. This densely packed machine carried serious favour by technicians and operators due to the universal application and found itself on many varying types of spacecraft, but it was a single-seater fighter market where the R2 really excelled. It could be slotted into a space which didn't need any life support, and it could watch over the fighter's vital systems and distribute power where it needed at times of combat. In fact, many fighters absolutely relied on the Astromech Droid for long-range hyperspace calculations, which led to a cost reduction as the expensive navigations could be omitted from the fighters themselves. If the range of tools on an R2 wasn't large enough, the droid was designed so that more tools could be fitted. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some form of galactic Pimp My R2 competition where neons, super bouncy suspension and massive speakers could be fitted. Around 35 years after the Battle of Yavin, the BB series of droids entered service. These droids had many similarities to the R2 unit as they could be docked into a starfighter and operated much like a navigator and onboard mechanic. The most obvious departure from the R2 design is the spherical all-body terrain which allowed the BB to travel faster than the R2 over extremely uneven surfaces. The head component was not actually physically tethered to the body but operates on a wireless system. Perhaps Bluetooth. Yeah, that's really secure. Astromech Droids had artificial intelligence and the ability to learn, thus each droid adapts to its environment and didn't require excessive and long-winded overnight updates which prevent you from shutting down your computer properly and seems to only happen when you leave work early. Anyway, this led to personality development, which in turn creates kinship between pilot and droid. You see this numerous times through Star Wars, for instance Poe with BB-8, and numerous times where Luke and Anakin are both very pally with R2-D2. Which I thought was a tad weird, especially after I discovered that R2's memory was not wiped like C-3PO's. Now, unless he has some kind of memory wipe system to keep his memory banks from filling up, then R2-D2 should have had some recollection of Anakin. Perhaps BB tweet means, "Hey, you're a Skywalker? I used to know a Skywalker. He was from around these parts, you know. Intense guy. Bit of a child-killing psycho, actually. Murdered a lot of people. Went insane, turned into a robot. His missus had a pair of kids. They'd be about your age. Actually, there's something very familiar about this Oh, right. But no, without that fancy translator, then Luke wouldn't have had a hope. Saying that, there is a popular fan theory which suggests that R2-D2 was in fact a spy on a mission, not only to locate Kenobi, but also young Skywalker. It's probably inaccurate, but it's fun to speculate. I'm still convinced C-3PO is Rey's father. And there you have it, fun facts about the Astromech Droid. I hope you enjoyed this little intro to the galactic equivalent of a Labrador with a tool belt, and if you would like to comment, please do so. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we have new videos planned for this year, so please do subscribe and hit the notification buttons. Until next time, this is Andy, and have a great new year.